This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today I want to talk about a conversation that I had with a client, which is interesting and actually stems back, I suppose, has its origins in a conversation I had a very, very long time ago around if somebody's becoming a PT and trying to be all these things, like what's wrong with just being a PT? And that's across the board. That's not just in PT land. That's literally in everywhere. If you're an apprentice, like what's wrong with being an apprentice? Just be the apprentice, right? Which is really interesting. And so a trend that I've noticed, and if you're not in the fitness industry, I encourage you to take a look at this trend within your industry, wherever you work, or maybe if you're, have a hobby in some sort of space, doesn't matter. I'm sure you can relate to it. And so what happens is that there's some sort of trend where people are in the industry for a short period of time, and what they're attempting to do is to portray themselves as an expert. Now, like, I want you to hear me out. I'm not trying to be like, what the fuck are these guys doing? I'm not saying that at all. That's not the point. What my point here is going, there is something significantly better than a premature expert, and that is a professional beginner. And this is it with regards to snowboarding. This is with regards to writing blogs. It's in regards to everything. It's like there is absolutely nothing wrong with just being exactly where you are with what you know and sharing that. And this is the interesting thing, and one of the things that you may notice as you observe people in your space or in other spaces is that if they're portraying this image as being an expert and they're lacking, it almost can be felt. It's quite interesting. And I'm not saying from a place of judgment and these people need to pull their fucking heads in. It's like people can do whatever the fuck they want. My offer for you is that if you are a beginner in something, don't always feel like you need to rush to be somewhere else, because you are exactly where you need to be and you are expressing exactly what you need to express. Like, there's just a continual unfolding. There's no rushing the learning. It's just happening. And this is the thing, is that we can't rush the learning, but what we can do is get rid of the shit in the way of our learning in every single fucking moment that we are literally breathing. And so the powerful thing for this, for all of us, is start to look at how often we're rushing things within our own development, when we're rushing things within our own career, industry, study, etc., just to tick fucking boxes because we're told that's what we should be doing, right? And this is an interesting thing. It's like people, let's say, once again, I'll use something that I know in the fitness industry. It's like they're a good, a pretty good personal trainer. They rock up and they love their clients and they love helping their, people get fitter, and great place to start. Fucking all for it, right? It's where I started. I started below that actually, but it's a part of the process. And then that person may feel the need to then go out and market this 6-week online program and take all this advice from people that have actually never had to fucking do it themselves anyway. They're just in the industry as, and I know this, it goes across many industries, as snake oil salesman, but it's more like going, I'm this kind of business coach and you should be doing this kind of business program with your business, yada, 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 yada. Now, it's not that there's no value to this, and I inherently think that there is value to it. My whole premise to this whole podcast is to encourage you to take a look at where you are, no matter what stage of development you're in your hobby, your career, your sport, anything, and just see if you will allow yourself to be exactly where you are. Because the issue is that if you're trying to be somewhere else, you're losing the lessons you need to learn in order to become the individual that's at that point. Because those lessons are here in the now, as the beginner or as the amateur or as the apprentice or as the trainee or whatever that is. Like, just be where you're at so you can learn the lessons to become the person you need to become, that you want to become as you grow up, as you grow into your role, as you unfold and as you mature. So the thing about the professional beginner is that person is building a significantly better base than the premature expert, right? There's holes all through the premature expert. And then the interesting thing is that they end up, the premature experts end up creating a shiny, exterior to make up for the lack of interior. And the thing is that over time, they'll get found out. And you may resonate with this, or maybe you know somebody else, or maybe it's just a projection. Maybe it is you, maybe it is me. Fuck, who knows? The biggest thing, though, is going, I'm okay with being exactly where I am today and learning exactly what I'm learning today. I'm in no rush. I don't have to pretend like I know more than what I do. I don't have to pretend that I have to have more followers than I have. In fact, you don't need any fucking followers. There was a fucking crazy amount of businesses that were made of 0 followers many, many years for many, 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 many decades. The whole point there is that all of that is just fluff. It's just noise. It's just distraction, right? If you allow yourself, and I've said it enough, and I'm going to say it one more time, to be exactly where you are, then what you allow yourself to do is to learn the lessons that are right for you right now, so you can continue to build and develop and get out of your own way. If you're pretending, hear that? Pretending to be who you're not, then you're not only lying to your customer, you're lying to yourself. If you're trying to fake it until you make it, all you're doing is lying to yourself until you've fooled everyone, including yourself. Be the professional beginner, right? Be the mature amateur, right? They're all better than the premature expert. And here's the other thing for you as well. You don't need to know all the answers. In fact, admitting that you don't know actually allows you to learn how to know. Isn't that amazing? There you go, I don't know. As soon as we say that, our brain allows us to actually go, well, what could the answer be? And that's when we learn. When all we say is, I know, right? It's not I knowledge, it's I-N-O. You're saying no. You're rejecting the information that's coming towards you with the terms I know. It's like, you don't have to know everything. In fact, some of the best people in the world in their industries don't know everything, clearly, because they can't. And it's their understanding that they don't know that makes them hungry for the information. And that's why they become the best. So when you let go of this need or this rule that you're meant to know, and you get rid of that bullshit, that frame, and you keep this openness, this playfulness, and this curiosity about yourself, then surprisingly enough, you start to know. Because you start to see where there is holes in your game, for lack of a better term. Right? The problem before is that person, the premature expert, would just try and cover those holes up, right? Whereas the professional beginner, they don't have holes because they're starting from the bottom and they didn't have to pretend. They're not trying to fill the lies. They're not filling the void, right? Yeah, there you go. Team, that's it. That's all I have for today. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you found this podcast beneficial, then it'll be in the world to me if you would pass it on to someone else that you think would also find it beneficial. If you haven't already, jump on Facebook and search Mood Prep Online and see us in the group. I'd love to see you in there. Otherwise, team, that's it. I'm out for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until tomorrow, peace and pizza. Keep today in the dick. Slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.